just you can start us out by saying, hey guys, do whatever intro you want. You could be something as simple as like, hey, it's your boy Topher. And welcome to You Ain't Black Girls. You can say, hey, I'm super stoked to be here. I'm Topher, and welcome to You Ain't Black. Just do whatever you want.
Hey, I'm a Billboard artist. You ain't gotta walk me through this, man.
Thank you. Oh, hey, you know the best part? The best part of that is I was recording that.
You ain't black.
And you ain't black.
How you make conservative cool.
Already cool. Think about it. What was cool in school was what was taboo, what was banned, what was frowned upon. If you did any of those things, you was like, oh man, that dude cool, bro. So right now, it's conservatism. It's like all we got to do is make sure we're represented and seen. That's it. All we got to do is raise awareness of artists, of influencers, of whoever, and get them out there. That's it. You know, we've been cool.
Topher's in the building. He's in the building right now. Welcome to the show. Now, what's been going on? Because I know that you've been banned. When your number one, you were number one where on iTunes and
Spotify.
No, I was number one on Amazon, number one on iTunes. We peaked at number 8 overall before it was removed on all genres on iTunes.
Yeah.
We was at I think we hit number 25 Billboard all genre digital sales, and we was number 3
That's major.
For rap digital song sales, and number 4 for R&B hip hop.
Oh my goodness!
So
well, Kick, you gotta repeat what you had said earlier. That dang, you must be good.
Then he gets banned, right? And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at it, and I'm listening to you too. I'm like, of course they gotta ban that. If you guys hadn't checked out the Patriot song, it is the most patriotic song I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, okay, of course they banned it. I mean, they censor us, they shadow ban us, they ban the president of the United States, anybody that's a part of this movement, because it's not about Trump or MAGA necessarily. It's about America. It's pro-America. And then I heard that song and I'm like, oh, of course they banned it. Of course they did. And then now I look on my feed and now you're back on the charts again.
Yeah, man, they can't stop it.
You can't stop.
I'm excited to see that, man. The funny thing though is, it's not just one song though. We came back with a remix, and it's actually number 2 on the charts, right behind the number 1. And if you go look at the top 10 songs on iTunes, we got 2 songs in the top 10. All songs on iTunes charts.
I don't know anybody that went that high in the charts, got banned, and did it again. Now, kudos.
Let me ask you, Topher, what are your thoughts on being censored? Because you got censored directly.
Right. Yeah. It sucks, right? Because one thing, it sucks. The reason it really sucks is because I don't know why, right? Yeah. Our distributor sent us an email saying, hey.
Well, we know why. Because you're a patron.
Some type of takedown order, so we had to remove your song. Like, they removed it as soon as they sent the email. With no explanation. They said they had no context. And they said if I re-uploaded the song without solving the issue, they will remove my entire music catalog and ban my account from that distributor.
What issue?
That's jacked up.
Wow, yeah. So they're trying to force you to comply, basically.
But you have to know what you're complying with.
For a little bit, I said,
exactly.
Okay, we'll give them a little time, try to communicate, never got anything back from them. So what we did was, because this is what we do, we adapt, we decided to go direct. And because of that, we've actually made more money direct, just buying straight from our website than we did going through the distributors in the first place.
Bada boom, bada bam,
So
are you guys signed to any label?
But also, I re-uploaded the song through a different distributor just to test and see. Was it really the stores that wanted it taken down, or was it the distributor? Because now we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question for you, Topher, and this is really interesting speaking with you because we talked similarly to Forgiato Blow about this before he came on our show several weeks ago, and they're always complaining that, the left controls the culture, the left controls Hollywood, the left controls the music industry, so on and so forth. But just like in the 90s when everybody made fun of rap and said, oh, rap music is an oxymoron because rap isn't music, and it was kind of like this underground thing for a long time. Yep. Conservative, or shall we say just non-woke rap and music is kind of, to me, do you feel like it's experiencing a breakthrough, kind of like general rap did in the late 80s or early 90s? Do you think we'll actually get to that point where like we got Ben Shapiro making his own movie, like Fight, Run, Hide, Duck, Stop, Drop, Roll, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Forgiato Blow doing some serious music, and once again going direct because he got censored, and then you're going direct and you got censored.
No.
Do you think that you guys are like as good as it gets once you've been censored because you already have followings and it's a dying genre, or do you think it's a birthing genre?
Oh, new market.
Oh,
No.
come on,
Hey,
man.
I asked him,
Birthing
not
all
you.
day, baby. Come on, now. What, you think we're just gonna die off? No, man. It's a sign of the times, right? And I want to say it's not just because we're conservative music, but we're getting back to, so music it always does a huge cycle. You go from the conscious to party jams, you get back around to the conscious, you go back to the party jams. So it's making that pendulum swinging again back around to where people want sustenance.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that conservative artists are the first ones to take that route and go in that direction. So we're going to be the ones in the front of that swing, which we're going to benefit the most from, which to me is, which I've known for the longest, right? If you go back and listen to some of my music, I didn't cuss. Way back in the day, I tried it. I sucked at it. I sounded, how someone sucks at cussing? I don't know if you know that, but some people are terrible at cussing. I didn't sound cool when I did it. So I was like, it ain't for me. So I stuck with everything, stuck to my morals and said, hey, I don't need to cuss.
Right.
The first Grammy Award winning rap artist was Will Smith, and he didn't curse any of his lyrics. Obviously, you don't need to.
Yeah,
So,
I do remember that. I do remember that with Will Smith.
And the thing is,
So
And then
I
Eminem
consider
said
this-
Will Smith don't have to cuss in his songs, but F him
I
and
do.
F you.
Don't.
But I do, so F him and F you.
But the
Right.
thing is, I actually consider this type of music to be conscious music, right? Conscious hip hop, because this is the music that speaks directly to the people about
Yes.
situations that's going on.
Well, and I got a
that's
question.
what music should be about.
Yeah,
Conscious
absolutely.
music.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I stepped over you there for a second there, Lucas. But I got a question for Topher. You say, okay, you're a conservative artist. Well, what makes you a conservative artist? Because, I mean, I've listened to some of your music, and it's no different than, like, what's that 80s country song that's like, I'm proud to be an American? I wouldn't necessarily call that a conservative song. And, there was...
Patriotic.
Yeah, but who is that funny country artist? I'm totally forgetting his name. Chemo Brain is kicking in right now. But he said, like, how do you like me now? And then he also made that song after the war in Iraq that said, we'll put a boot in your A, and, that's the American way. It was really funny. He's the country artist.
Fantastic.
I don't remember
Oh,
that
come
one.
on. They play this
That's
at all
bef-
the freaking rallies.
That's
Kenny
before
something.
our time. I don't remember.
No, okay,
that
I'm
one.
going to look it up. Great.
Sorry,
Now we're gonna look it up.
I'm sorry.
Like,
Hey, I'm sorry. All I listened to was Bryson Gray, Forgiato Blow, and Topher. I don't know who you're talking about.
Hey.
that's what I'm talking about.
It's Kenny something, and I will look this up, and we will find this out. But so what makes you a
Kenny
conservative
Rogers.
artist? Because it seems like your music's pretty mainstream. Is it simply, do you call yourself a conservative artist because you're getting censored and pigeonholed for being a Trump supporter? Or are you a conservative artist because you're out there saying, like, it's not like you're rapping saying, yo, go to the booth and vote my way, or else I'm going to, I don't know, some threat. You know what I'm saying? It's...
Well, to be fair, I never called myself a conservative artist. If you go back and look at any headline, it's Billboard artist, conservative TikTok star, political influencer, but they're trying to marry my conservatism to my title as an artist, which I've always tried to shy away from, even when it was Christian hip hop artists, right? You've seen that happen because I don't want people to get the idea, because I don't want people to think conservative artists and they think automatically that you're only going to talk about certain things or this and that.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want them, prejudging me for something they don't know nothing about.
Right.
So if they want to call me conservative artist, cool. I'm not mad at it, but that's not something that I'm gonna call myself.
Yeah,
I am a conservative. I am a Christian. But I try to, project or at least put my beliefs and interject my beliefs into what I say and into my music to help influence people. And all different cultures and backgrounds. I mean, right now, the Patriot is, I had some very, American, words in there, but a lot of people from across the UK, Australia, South Africa have said that this song even resonates with them. So it just goes to show that if you make a message and it's just really heartfelt, and I just want to say this before we get too carried away. The reason I made the Patriot was because of everything that was going on. They tried to tie it to the riots in DC, which I made the song 3 weeks before that even happened. But it was more about the tyranny we saw as far as the business owners that can't go do their thing while big industries and corporations were making their money. It's just about the rules for thee and not for me, right?
Exactly.
That was more what it's about. It's like taking back our country, taking back the things that are near and dear to us. So every country in the world is facing the pandemic, experienced the liberal lockdowns and things like that. So the song was more generalized in that way.
Yeah, and I know you when it comes to the politics and music, you keep it aside. I know you do your politics, and I know you do your music. And when I heard that and I saw that the song was banned, The Patriot, I knew why they did that, because we always talk about what divides us, and the media keeps talking about what divides us. People on the streets, when it comes to politics or about anything culture-wise, it's about dividing. But when I heard that song, I thought of one thing, and I thought of one hand when we're all divided, and on the other hand, if we all just came together as the people, and then we understood that it's us and not them.
Yeah,
it's not me or Hulk. Right. It's not Topher or Lucas, but it's all of us and them. And when I heard that song, I understood that. I understood where you were coming from and what that song portrayed. And then once when it got banned, I said, of course. Of course. I knew it. I had a feeling, and then it did. So
but the interesting thing is, it seems like, this is literally a regression in music. We've seen censorship in music. And for a while now, as long as you put the parental advisory sticker on there, you should be able to say what you want to say. That's part of the First Amendment.
By the way, isn't it hilarious now that like that parental advisory sticker, which inherently was censorship, it was soft censorship, and they got rid of albums. Like, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember the song "Cop Killer" by Ice-T back when he was like before he was like acting on like daytime white person TV? You know what I'm saying? Like, by the way, Ice-T, I dig you, you're my man. But
disclaimer.
Like, it is hilarious how like he's perceived as conservative now because he's talking about the importance of the black community having guns, just like the Black Panthers had guns, when like that used to be in the 80s like this total like counterculture liberal position. So he really hasn't gone anywhere, but now he's considered conservative for his Second Amendment views. But anyway, like you look when he made Cop Killer, like that was legit censored. I mean, there was plenty of radio stations that wouldn't play it. There was a speech by George H.W. Bush, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember
that. No, addressing it in Los Angeles. And what's crazy is Ice-T drove by where the speech was being given, where he said, "Nobody that threatens law enforcement in our great nation deserves to be on the airways," or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we've kind of always had a little bit of kind of soft censorship for things that we all agreed on. But the hilarious part is just like Ice-T now is considered like a big Second Amendment junkie. You know, here you are getting censored worse than Ice-T was for saying things like "I love my country." You know what I'm saying? Right?
You're not saying kill cops,
but that's the thing that nowadays it's patriotism is now synonymous with conservatism, right? So you're automatically going to get that censorship because now patriotism is taboo.
It's considered a bad thing.
It really is.
Which is crazy.
Flying your
Loving
American
your country
flag
is a bad thing.
Right.
They actually call the American flag racist.
Right. That's what's killing me. How are we going to call the American flag the symbol of our country? That's not racist.
Right.
Yeah, I was like,
hey, literally. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing. It's like you used to have to do self-destructive things in the 80s and 90s. Like, I don't know, like we literally had a song that was like a top 40 hit called, you know, "Smoking in the Men's Room" or "Smoking in the Boys' Room." I don't remember. It's like you used to have to like sneak cigarettes on campus and smoke in between classes. You used to have to like, you know, shoot up drugs or like do all kinds of crazy like self-destructive behaviors to get like banned. And then you sold more albums. Now all you literally have to do is be like, "I believe in strength through peace or peace through strength."
Racist.
You're automatically done.
Hey, but if you want socialist policies, that's all. We're all good with that. We're good with socialist policies. So let me.
Don't worry about it. They got a new word for it: multiculturalism, white supremacy.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Multicultural white supremacy.
Yeah. So that was
So that's basically saying that non-white people or anybody can be a white supremacist.
It was a picture of it was a picture of the PB, right? PBO yellow jacket.
So now now
so
white supremacists are the true culturally diverse people.
That's crazy. That's it. Wait. That's so crazy. I didn't know that according to my ideology that I'm a white supremacist.
You are now what? Well, it makes sense.
Because I love my country. I'm a white supremacist.
I've been called neo-Nazi, white supremacist. Now it makes sense. I get it now.
I've been called a black Nazi. I was like, what?
A black Nazi.
I was like, what?
They're just making up terms.
So okay.
They really
So what he's referring to is that there was a news article with the PB leader, right? The yellow jackets, censorship. So yeah. And you know, he's Cuban, and so he has black complexion, and they go in the article. It said what you said, the headline, but it's saying just because there's people that have that are minorities that represent that are on this side does not mean that they don't weed out or cancel out real systemic racism or something. And I'm just reading the article, and I'm like, oh my god! Just because people are black or Hispanic and they believe in our country, it's still racist. Right. Oh, get out of here!
Don't make that stretch.
But that's the crazy ideology of the kooky left, right?
Yeah.
If you don't agree with me, you're racist.
Automatic.
Now, if you're not white, then you're still racist.
They're still racist,
and you can still be a neo-Nazi.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, don't break culture. Don't break culture. You're still a white person. So for Topher's, my question is, what do you truly believe? Why they censored it? You know what I mean? I know, like, we got into it a little bit of what we think, or like what you're like, oh, should I say it?
Get on.
So I'm gonna be real. So there's only two
disclaimer.
Two things that make me wonder why they censored it. Right, the way they worded it when they removed it makes me think it didn't come from the stores, or it came from an outside source. So if it came from an outside source, given the fact that the song on Spotify was removed the same day as the riots on the Capitol, I'm thinking maybe the government or somebody was trying to tie the song to them storming the Capitol. I don't know.
It could have been Nancy Pelosi.
March around the Capitol.
We know.
They ain't say knock on the door. But anyway,
did you hear
maybe they were trying to make that connection, or there was some big labels that called and said, "Hey, we got this independent artist killing all our major artists, making us look bad." And like we are making them look bad right now, because we had Saweetie. I don't know if y'all know who Saweetie or Doja Cat is, but they did a song called Best Friend.
Yep.
And released a video and everything. We was #1, and they couldn't remove us from #1. Big time artists, millions of followers, bunch of money poured into their production, promotion, and everything, and they couldn't remove us from the #1 spot.
Wow.
So that to me may have been actually a bigger reason to get us banned in the first place. Because I know a lot of people trying to say, of course, the haters, oh, it's because you didn't have copyright. I said, look, if it was a copyright issue, that's real simple. Like, hey, you copyrighted this music, but there's also some steps that when you submit your music that it catches that. Even on YouTube, right? We all know about YouTube. As soon as you upload something that's copyrighted, I mean, as you're uploading it. You don't even get a chance to get it promoted or anything. You know. And I have not been dinged with anything since that song, my lyric video, has been up for 5 weeks. So I know it's not a copyright issue. Plus the song, if no one knows, my mother told me comes from an old 12th century poem. I think it was Egil poem or Egil book, whatever. But it was a poem that a young boy wrote about his mom. So copyright laws say that, the copyright owner no longer has any legal rights to it. So it's public domain use, just like the Bible and just like, nursery rhymes. So I wouldn't be dinged for anything in the first place.
So I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking that, with the mix of everything that's been going on, they probably used that as an excuse when they saw that you were competing against people with millions of dollars, millions of followers. You're independent. You were blowing them out the water. Weren't you competing with Cardi B's WAP too?
Yeah.
Whoa.
We beat the WAP. No pun intended.
Yeah.
So we beat the WAP. We bodied the body. We knocked everybody down, man. And we was, like I said, we was up there #1 chilling, like, comfortably. And matter of fact, I said we was killing on billboards, and they saw that. And I was like, man, who is this dude with no music video, right? That's one thing. So most time, if you went back and saw the video we put up as far as the Billboard charting charts, Billboard charting charts, whatever, it had everyone up there had a video. We was the only artist up there that was charting without a music
still
video.
Killing them.
Right. Still killing it.
That's
so
crazy.
Speaking
I don't
of,
know,
though,
man.
you all have a
I'm
video
not
now,
saying,
right?
That's what happened, but I've been in the industry. I worked 2 years as a with the record label, so I kind of know how shady they can get when push come to shove.
Well, and that's my concern with this new brand of censorship. Because look, I mean, it's one thing for Ice-T to get censored for having made the song "Cop Killer" back in the day, because you can, shame on you, American values, law enforcement, back the blue, this and that. There was a time when Eminem was getting censored because when, in one of his albums, he talked about beating somebody up and, all the people clutched their pearls and said we shouldn't endorse this kind of violence. Pearls? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's stupid. But my question for you is, this is what worries me about the new censorship. I saw this meme. I'm actually going to read it right now. It said, to know the truth, now, MAGA Midge said this. She's Fog City Midge. She's a conservative coming out of San Francisco. Yeah. But she said, now we know the truth. That basically we're all just perceived as peasants. Topher, sorry, you're a peasant, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
I'm from
now
Mississippi. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is what I worry about. They treat us all like peasants, and they say, to know the truth. Now we know it's okay to 1, cheat, 2, lie, 3, steal, and 4, you can never have a great idea anymore because others have already been selected. And then you can never have a dream to be great if your bloodline is not connected to the current ruling class. And anything you say to speak out will result in death or censorship. And so I look at this and I think, dude, your music's one big fat great idea. And it is better than half the crap that 16 producers are on the label for of 10 different album covers. You know what I'm saying? And so because you were not chosen and they don't tell you transparently why you were censored, like at least Eminem knew exactly why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's like,
that's true.
okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you got to be part of the club. The music industry, just like Hollywood, is a club. And when you're not part of that club as an independent artist, then that's what you're going to have to face. Eminem is part of the club. So his censorship, that really didn't even mean anything. Honestly.
Yeah, but Eminem wasn't part of the club. He came through it. There used to be an ethos that you could be in the bottom class and then make it to the upper class. That is the American dream. So I don't want to be here and say, oh, the American dream is dead, but it's getting harder and harder to find. And the rungs on the ladder are getting higher and higher. So it makes me wonder, like, will a guy like Topher break through? Some would say he already has.
He's already broke through.
Some would say,
wait. He's already broke through because he's reached the people. Breaking through has nothing to do with like acceptance from the media. It has nothing to do with being on a magazine cover. He's already broken through. He's the #1 song.
And
he's reached the people. Once you have the word of the people. Yeah.
And I would say
that's what matters. And that's the media.
And I would say this, when you talked about already touched, and like I said, I'm going back to the song. We all saw how it was censored and it was just patriotic. That's a domino effect.
Exactly.
And not only did you have a great accomplishment, but then the censorship just added on to it.
Yeah.
And when I saw and I looked at my feed and you're one again, I'm like, the people see this. Like, the people see this. Well, and you can't go back from what you see. You see something, it's done.
Yeah, so we want to know what the new metric is. Because we were talking about that with 4G Auto Blow. Right. Like, I mean, if we turned on MSNBC today, if we turned on CNN, they'd say, Topher who? Oh, what? The black supremacist, dangerous, gun-toting veteran who probably has PTSD?
But that doesn't matter, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? Why does that even matter? What CNN says, oh, the gun-toting. That doesn't matter.
It used to. So what is the new metric? 4G Auto said, show me your analytics.
Ah, yes, right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was Instagram analytics was what he considered was success, right? So what's your measure of success? Like, Topher, what is, because we can't trust any of these institutions anymore. Yeah. Like, if the New York Times doesn't like you, it simply means you voted for Donald Trump. If they do like you, it means you supported Joe Biden. That's it. Okay? It doesn't mean whether your music's good. So what, to you, as a rapper, is the metric that you use to measure success now that all of the other previous measures of success have been totally corrupted by politics?
So of course, when you're a kid, before you get some sense about yourself, you're like, oh man, I want to get a Grammy, I want to get this. And then, I've been an adult for a while now. And when you see people like The Weeknd get snubbed for Grammys, even though we all know he deserved the Grammys, but it's up to some people that sit behind a room and decide what is good or not.
You got it.
It goes to show that those awards mean nothing. I'd rather have the people on my side, which we obviously have, right? Exactly. I obviously have people on my side, so I'd rather connect with them. And as far as success, I just want to be able to make a great living, whether make a great living doing what I love to do. We've had great success since the song has been banned, and Needless to say, I've made twice what I made with the song being on there for 3 weeks versus in 1 week. So I just say that. But it's just one of those things where you sit back and you just like, I got kids jamming out to my song. I got 84-year-old grandpa sitting in there, grandson right song to listen to. I got people that never bought anything on iTunes buying my song, right? Never bought anything on iTunes buying my song. So it's like, what more do you want? So there's nothing else I want, really. It's just, as long as I can make great music, meet great people, push great policies and those type of things, I feel like I've done what I meant to do.
So I have a kind of a curious distribution question for you here. I read this hilarious article in the Babylon Bee in which they were making fun of millennials, saying millennials just figured out you can life hack and get free TV by simply sticking an antenna up there. You know what I'm saying? That like they thought it's like a life hack, Bunny ears. So there's like apparently a bunch of millennials.
Found something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
stumbled upon.
Yeah, apparently there's like all these millennials and Gen Z kids who are now like stoked out of their minds that you can get free TV by simply putting up an antenna, right? So there's kind of like been this return to some of these older mediums of distribution, and everybody in marketing. And I worked for Universal Studios for a while. I've done all kinds of independent, everything from music videos to movies, and so I've been in entertainment for a long time. And everybody's always chasing that 19 to 35 and that 19 to 25 demographic, as though it's like the God that rules the world, because that's the way it was in the 70s and 80s. But have you noticed? No. Have you noticed, similar to these millennials finding antennas and just, actually watching TV like we used to before, I don't know, Slingbox came out, shall we say? Have you noticed that there's been any kind of expanded demographics now that you're just going back to direct sales? Like, there's plenty of rappers that only sell CDs to email lists now. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been censored off platforms, which if you think about it, kind of opens you up to a brand new demographic that you're right. My grandpa's not on Spotify, but he'll freaking bump his head to a cool song that I bring and be like, he would buy a CD in Walmart if he saw it. It was like, oh yeah, I like that. He'll buy a freaking 50-year-old Johnny Cash album for a guy that died. You know what I'm saying? Because it's physical media. So have you noticed that maybe by going old school and avoiding this whole digital platform, you've had an expanded base? Has there been any change, or is it, I don't know, you tell me.
Expanded base. Let me tell you this. I'm selling a single, so we're selling like a hard copy of the song, just the song, like no album. Hard copy, physical copy of the song. It's going to be in a jacket and everything. It's going to be signed by me and TMR, the Marine rapper. Just one song for $25. We've sold over 800 copies.
Wow. Come on, brother.
So you're exploiting young children and these poor kids saving up all week's allowance.
Exactly.
And you're like, give me that 25, brother.
I need that.
And the cool thing is the digital copy, we went from, because I think iTunes is max $1.29. We're selling it for $5. And we've sold over probably close to 2,000 copies of that. So, I mean, if anything, it showed me that people will buy what they want. And the more you try to prevent them from doing what they want, the hungrier they're going to want, hungrier they're going to be. So I appreciate it. It was a blessing in disguise. Matter of fact, when we first received the email, I was like, dang, you know what we did? We immediately got on a video call, set up the direct sales, and then that was it. It was no sweat. It was like, okay, cool, let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it, is that when it comes to something that you're good at, something that's great, if you have a good product, the people will pay for it. The people will buy it, and you obviously have a good product. If you're $25 for a song, man, and they are jumping on that, you have a good product. You know what I'm saying? Something that the American people want.
It's about the product. You can put the price as long as the product fulfills the price.
Okay, now,
but here's the thing. I just wanted to say, before you go, is that we're starting to see now that there's, like you said with the Grammys, that when you get a Grammy, it's a badge. It's not a badge of honor. It's a badge of selling out, right? Yeah. And then when you get censored,
exactly.
But then as people in the market, American patriots that are here in the United States that see what's going on with our country, and they see people like you or anybody that gets banned. Yeah. Like you said, there's a thirst for it, there's a hunger for it, because he knows something. Yeah. Like he's doing something right. Yeah. Like and we see this whole area of just censorship, and the people want it. The people want what they can't have, and most importantly, they know that there's something going on. They know that that's a badge of honor. The banning is a badge of honor.
Right.
Okay, now, but before we celebrate and extol all the virtues of free market capitalism too much, what I'm concerned about is now after the January 6th riots, they're basically trying to go after anybody who supported Donald Trump in any measure, whether it was just simply holding your nose and diving in to vote, or whether you're actually on site itself. And they're taking huge draconian measures. As you know, Donald Trump himself and multiple people that were selling pro-Trump apparel have been taken off of their shopping carts, taken off of their MasterCard processing. Chase has been called on behalf of multiple organizations saying you shouldn't let these people have banks. I think Forgiato said something about a bank account was closed on him or something like that, right? I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the article. But look at the interview. But what do you do when they say, okay, this is enough? You're supporting white supremacists. We're not going to process your credit card payments. I mean, it's one thing to get booted off of Instagram and still have an emailing list. It's one thing to get booted off of Spotify and still be able to be on Apple iTunes or still be able to, make CDs and send them out in jackets for $25. But what do you do when people straight up say, you're a racist, this is hate speech, this is hate content, no digital sales, no payment processing?
Sheesh.
I say this, when the Bible talks about the mark of the beast, that you won't be able to eat and those type of things without conforming or doing something. Doesn't it sound like something? Because someone's taking away your way to process information, to process payments and everything else. It shows how far we've gone in one direction and how much control we've actually given to big corporations, right? So my thing is taking back some of that ownership. So one thing I've discussed with Bryson Gray and some other artists is just starting our own streaming platform, right? Give, Send, Go is a conservative, Christian conservative type of GoFundMe. So now we got that. Now we can process funds, raise funds that way without having to go through, GoFundMe, which is pretty much counsel anyone from Candace Owens down, right?
No.
Pretty much counsel them. Yeah. So taking back some of that ownership. And this is what we got to do. We got to create our own infrastructure, because they're not even just going out there processing payment. I mean, we saw with Parler, they're going out to service, right? They're literally banning us if they want to from anything. Right. And we need to learn to get our own. If we do not, then we will always be in that control. So I don't know. It's just, I'm hoping that if you are listening and we are paying attention, that we need to know we got to do something. We got to plan. We got to strategize. Obviously, they have been doing it for the longest, and we just got to turn around and do the same.
Okay, so for those of you that are just tuning in, we are talking to Topher, world's first multicultural black white supremacist rapper.
Number one on the charts and band.
Number one on the charts and band and back. So he's going on tour with You Ain't Black. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so talk to us, man. That was good. What do you think? We're gonna diverge here from talking about how awesome you are and making your ego that much bigger to talking about what on earth is going on in this country of ours and yours, my man. A lot has happened in the past week. Where do we start? Where are we going? Is there a cliff that we just need to put our Speedos on and jump the edge off of with a parachute, hoping we hit the water below?
Let's just do it, because this is the first episode since the announcement. Right. It looks like Joe Biden.
Well, he's not my president. Biden, he's not my pedo. Let's get into this sham inauguration, right?
Thank you.
This sham inauguration, come on. Everything about this was just not right on so many levels. And like I told y'all before,
80 million votes. Did you see how many people were there?
Remember though, like I told y'all before, this is a spiritual war. And for me, I didn't even want to be here for this inauguration.
Look, he had to fly out of Mexico fly out of the United States. He said, "I'm not even going to be in the United States with this one."
I left because I said, "Look at what's happening, right? Yeah. Here you have a group of like evil people, and they're gonna take the office and steal it in front of the world at the highest level, and we're supposed to be here and just accept this and go along with it." Yeah. No, I said, "Nah, I'm just gonna get out of here."
Dropped his deuces. I
just needed a little vacay to just get out of here and just clear my mind. I didn't want to hear the news. I didn't want to hear nothing about that inauguration.
And look, he came back with a Gucci sweatband. Is that real? Or did you get that in Tijuana?
No, this is definitely authentic.
We talking about Lucas
and it's straight from Gucci. But I didn't get this during the riots. That's for sure. And it's not from Mexico either.
Because it wasn't a rise at the Capitol because Trump supporters don't loot. So I'll just put it out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he bought that. Yeah. He bought that with capitalism, right? His hard-earned money, got that out that paper. You know what I mean? No, so that's another thing I like to point out too is that I feel a lot of people are shell shocked. Yeah. I'm getting it from everybody. Everybody's shell shocked. Yeah. They just can't believe it. You know what I mean? And they're kind of going on about, well, what about let's just hold on a little longer or move the date. I think I'm here in March or something like that. And you know what? I'm just sitting back and I really think that as much as this looks bad, I think this is what America needs.
Oh yes,
I think this is
China's
what America
laughing right
needs.
now.
Wake up call.
Everybody's laughing.
Real
at us.
wake up. Yeah, you saw Donald Trump Jr.'s tweet. He said, "Congratulations, China."
Mm-hmm. Yes, and how about look? There's a video where there's tens of thousands of people in a caravan coming from Honduras, rushing the border over to Guatemala, and they get interviewed, and they're saying we want to be there in America for the inauguration because Biden is promising us amnesty. Now. Never mind
11 million.
Never mind the pandemic, right? But isn't that what the opposite of what you want to do?
Yeah, it is.
And
logically.
Isn't that putting Honduras first? What about America first? Everything that American citizens want right now.
That's not what Biden stands for. He's about every other country first.
Then America.
Yeah, but
America
you guys
last.
don't have to worry about that. You really don't have to worry about that. And here is the proof. Okay, we all know Democrats lie to minorities backwards and forwards in order to get their votes, and then they immediately forget all of the promises they made. Remember how he said $2,000 checks didn't happen? Okay, and
actually, it was Trump that promised the $2,000.
Oh, look, everybody and their dog did,
and they
but it was heavily Joe Biden. Okay, and here's the other thing, guys: who has actually signed amnesty? Who has actually signed amnesty in the past 50 years in the United States of America?
Obama.
Well, for the first one in Reagan.
No, yeah, Ronald Reagan was the very first one. Sorry, FDR promised to, never did. But Ronald Reagan was the first president in my lifetime to actually sign amnesty. Okay, and then guess who was the second? George Bush. Only George Bush. The only people that have actually signed amnesty bills have been Republicans. Barack Obama had an all-Democrat Senate, all-Democrat House of Representatives, obviously Democrat White House, never touched it. Did an executive order of DACA, it threw some bones to some people nobody would send out of the country. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we don't have to worry about Joe Biden doing this because he's a Democrat. They lie to get power and then they don't deliver.
Well, I want to say this too, is that, okay, we don't have to worry about it, but at the same time, I am worried because if they do so happily want to put that bill in front of him, he said so himself, he don't know what he's signing, but he gonna sign it anyway.
Exactly.
They never do. Remember, Nancy Pelosi said we got to pass Obamacare so we can read what's in it?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Like how are we going to have a bill and we can't read it first? We got to sign it first before we read it. So what do you think, Tom? What do you think's going on with this just happening right now? Now that, everybody's getting out of the shell shock moment of what happened during inauguration, what are you feeling? What are you feeling on your radar?
Man, I've been, I got to get back in shape, bro. Like
this gonna get real. It's gonna get real quick.
You think, oh man, you need, worst case scenarios. Like, man, bro, like contingency plans are becoming the plan these days. Yeah. They tripping because you got to think about, right? So they talk about how Trump pissed the entire world off, which is just not true.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Biden has pissed off Trudeau, who's got to be the most liberal person, and pissed off, the president of New Mexico, all within the first 2 days in office.
He's on the roll, baby. He's on the roll.
This man is on a roll. Not only that, but when you're talking about jobs, he done messed up, and everything, he's rolling back. And I'm just like, bro, what are you trying to do? Like, tell me what you're trying to accomplish, so we can tell you that it's a bad idea. We already know it's a bad idea. We've been saying this from the get-go. And it's funny to me because BLM is acting like they're surprised that they haven't talked to them about anything.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, we've been telling you for the last 4 years.
Yep.
They do not care. They only care about the black vote, not the black person.
Thank you.
And I want to say
Black Lives Matter actually just put out another tweet, and they're saying that we're starting to feel that the Democrats took our
I think that was fake. I think that was sarcasm. I think that was just sarcasm.
No, it was under their little
Did you find it in the
official tweet.
Yeah. No. It was someone made that up.
Yeah, someone made that. It was just a joke. It was just.
Do we just fact check you in real time, Lucas? Your Gucci strap is on too tight, brother.
Here's the thing, man. They really feel that though. We've been telling them. I don't know how many times we've been saying BLM.
No, since the beginning.
You
since day one.
got
Since day one.
played, baby.
Yeah.
You got
they've
played.
been begging for a seat at the table for a while,
you.
and yet they still aren't getting a seat at the table.
Oh, but Sean King did tweet, and this was a real. I think this was a real one.
Yep.
Yeah, you know which one. He said, what did he say exactly? I can't say it off the top of my mind. Do you remember what he said?
And Sean King ain't black either.
Yeah, he ain't black. Neither are we.
They've signed 17 executive orders, and the ones they have introduced have not had anything to do with black empowerment, something like that.
Yeah, mass incarceration.
Yeah, mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Like that.
So, Sean King, you played Black America, and we keep saying this over and over again, but what I'm really mad about is not that BLM didn't understand when we've been telling them for this whole election cycle, last 4 years, right? It's okay because people are going to be ignorant. But your ignorance hurt Black America.
Yeah.
Because we actually had a platinum plan that we were going to put up. We actually had opportunity zones to invest in our inner cities. So we can laugh about it, but frankly, I'm really irritated. Like you know what I mean? Like I get to a point where I'm just like, okay, that's funny and all. You played yourself and you not only played Black America, but you did a disservice now. Yeah. Like we could have moved forward. Yeah. If we literally had your black vote. Remember when Black Twitter went crazy and was like, oh wait, Trump want to give us 2,000 and Biden want to give us 600? Black Twitter went crazy, said, you know what, give my boy Trump back. I need Trump like right now. Like bring my boy back. And it's just like, dude, the ignorance is so uncanny that the fact that they literally just set up Black America again, but we had such a great opportunity that we'll never get back. We'll never. I don't think we'll be able to get that opportunity that we did for it to help Black America.
Well, Democrats already have a shiny new toy, dude. Joe Biden himself said in that leaked interview, he said, this nation, let me tell you, you are all doomed because by 2044, this is going to be a majority minority country, and that majority of that minority will be Hispanics. And I still don't get why all these like white northeastern blue blood Democrats keep calling Hispanics. It's grammatically incorrect, first off. If you're Hispanic, it means from the Iberian Peninsula in Spain. And if you come up from Guatemala, I'm sorry, you're not Hispanic, you're Latino, all right? So A, let's get that one straight 30 years after they've come into our country, all right? And second off, dude, they got everything they want out of gays and ditched them for transgenders. You know what I'm saying? They got everything they want out of the black community and now ditched them for Hispanics.
They did,
and the black community's got to get real conservative real fast and has to start banding together real fast.
Yes, sir.
Because let me tell you, the black vote ain't going to matter 20 years from now the eyes of any Democrat.
Right. I mean, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. I really like the fact that, I mean, what you were talking about, how the black community, you know, we're kind of waking up and we're kind of seeing that we got played. But at the same time, this is what we needed. This is what we've been needing. It's tough love. It sucks. It hurts, especially for the rest of us who had our heads on straight and didn't have our heads up our behinds. We understood what was going on. But this is what we needed. And we got to catch some flack for it. We're going to have to, be in the same boat as everyone else. But this is what America needed to see, that when you have a Democrat representation, leadership, this is where we're going with this transgender thing. This transgender thing where, basically women's sports, done. See you later, bye. Yeah. Now transgenders are going to be taking over. It's like,
killing the Keystone Pipeline.
You see what I'm saying?
We're screwed. Hey, I'm gonna be real with you. We're screwed.
You know what, MAGA, though? I see your point. I see your point, and at the same time, I feel like this isn't what we need right now, though, because this is showing, this is sad that the fact that you have all these low information people that's been duped, and even right now, how the media is covering Biden and his inauguration and the lack thereof, and even when the videos are out right now of him mumbling and stumbling, and
they don't matter.
Have, Democrat friends telling me that, the reason why the troops even had to be there was because of your white supremacist President Trump. When their pictures are out there of the troops sleeping in the
and he brought them in, Trump brought them in. Biden said y'all could just sleep in the garage. Trump was like, "No, come to the Trump hotel." I mean, that's two different worlds.
Come to the Trump hotel. Come to the Trump hotel.
That's two different worlds. So Topher, I got a question for you.
Wait. But before you go on, too, I got a little roast session real fast. Cardon, since you want to keep on mentioning my...
it's getting real. It's getting real.
Hey, how real is it getting? What microphone are you on?
And that's another thing. You talk too much, Cardon. You talk too much. Get to the roast real fast, though, because, people know that I am in fashion, right? So, this is a Gucci, but I can hook you up, though, because you be looking like you just rolled out of bed, man. I mean... do a different sweater. We've seen that sweater at least 10 shows by now, right?
I got
so I can hook you up with some merch, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
really hook you up.
We're gonna have to borrow some from Topher. He's got a whole rack behind
like
him.
that sweater.
I'm gonna need that.
plug,
I hope you got my size, homie.
I like the fila.
Yeah, you ain't got he ain't got your 3X, 5X size.
I'll stretch it out, man.
I'll stretch it out.
Hey, no, MAGA, I'm gonna have to get you a custom made one.
Hey, give me that custom. So
Custom
two back to back.
So I had a question before we got in the roast session. I got a question for Topher, and we had this. We talked about this. We actually discussed this. This might be an infringement on civil liberties, and I don't want to do that. But there's a debate that's going on with us regarding to the election. Low information voters.
Yep.
We need a
Speak on
screening.
it. Speak on it.
We need a screening of people that vote. They need to know if they know the 3 branches of government.
Yeah.
I want them to know who does low taxes and high taxes. I want them to know all that before they vote. All that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that.
But they're gonna tell you that's
tough,
voter
right?
suppression.
It's tough
Exactly.
because back in the day that was a technique used to keep black people from voting a certain party, right? But now I feel like with the freedom of information that we have, that excuse keeping black people from doing something ain't the same.
Yeah.
But also that being said, with the laws in place, right? You can't disenfranchise anybody.
Exactly.
But I'm also saying, I don't need slumlord Joe over here who never works and wants to leech off everything I do and tell me that we need to raise taxes.
Right.
So he can take more from the government and things like that. I don't think it's fair, right? I do see the loophole in that. But yeah, I
say it from a sarcastic standpoint because they need screening.
So,
The people that voted for Joe Biden need screening. I swear.
You know
Literally,
what?
because
Let's say
literally
this.
all
How
they
about
care
this?
about though is
Instead of doing that, we just got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
lot.
That's true. A
We got a
lot.
lot of
But
work
that's
to
the
do.
thing, though, right?
Out here, we gotta get in these schools, we gotta get in these communities, and it ain't gotta be a straight just rally or anything. Just like education, like, dude, this is the government, this is what's important, and this is how you get to where you want to be. Instead of hating on the next man, learn to be the next man. And this is how you can make that happen. So I think, as much as it hurts me because we know that. We just got a lot of work to do, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do. We got to implement a lot of work because you got people out right now, right, on the left saying that they have to deprogram everybody who voted for Donald Trump. That's a narrative. You had Katie Couric say it. High-profile people are putting a message out there that we need to be deprogrammed just because we support President Trump.
Thank you for reminding me of that too, because did everybody see John Brennan, the former head of the CIA, talking about how the Biden administration is already looking towards getting those extremists, everybody but Topher, did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
I think I missed that.
Okay,
one.
so John Brennan, I don't know if we can find this out on the fly, but he went on, I think, CBS or something, or I forget, and he was basically saying that, with all this election, the Biden administration is also looking towards, going after extremists, and he even talked about, radical far right. He even said libertarians. He listed almost everybody but the left.
All over again.
He listed everybody but the left.
It's a Salem
Still no Antifa. And they're in Portland
exactly.
right now. Yeah. But whatever, you know what I'm saying? Is what it is.
Well, also,
but that's scary, though. I just want to say that's scary. That the former head of CIA is talking about going after far-right extremists and starts labeling everybody but left.
Yeah, but this is also where the right kind of has to eat some crow, too, though, because I was screaming from the hilltops that I didn't like that Donald Trump declared Antifa a domestic terrorist group, because I'm like, dude, this isn't the Unabomber, okay? These are a bunch of out of control punk rich kids, most of the cases. You know what I'm saying?
They are from the colleges.
I think he was pressured
out destroying, and they're committing state property crimes. Rioting was already a state property crime in Portland, Oregon.
But here's the problem, though.
And so we don't need to be bringing and marshaling federal resources. We just need police to be able to do their jobs, but idiots like Ted Wheeler, you know what I'm saying? We're allowing them to.
That's what I was going to say, is that it wasn't that he didn't want to necessarily do that. But again, when it happened, they're all Democrat-run states, and the Democrat governors are the ones that didn't do anything about it. And so he's sitting here looking at being the leader of the free world, like all my cities are burning and the governors are not doing anything about it. Right. What can you do from the federal level? You can't do much to the federal level. So that was the only option he had to do.
Yeah, but then now that is
the domino effect.
Yes,
yeah,
and which is the reason why also I said, I say shame on every single one of the Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, that voted to actually re-up the FISA courts and the NSA spying. Like, don't forget, we've said yes again.
Well, what's interesting
to the Patriot Act
is that when Donald Trump did that with Antifa, I think he was pressured by the media for that, right? He was pressured by the media because they're mostly white people that seem to be doing that support America. But with BLM doing it, he couldn't put them in the same category, even though they do the same thing. They're always out there together. All the Biden supporters and BLM and Antifa are all out together, but yet somehow the media only pressured.
It would have been racist.
Exactly. It would have been racist if he put BLM in that same category, right?
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
So
it's crazy.
What do you think about about that, Topher? What do you think about the fact that we're at this critical point and they're now going after us, going after people that are patriotic to the country,
normal people,
after censoring Trump, right? And I told people this a couple times that if they can get him, the president of the United States, none of us are safe.
None of it. If you can get the most powerful man in the world, nobody is safe. I mean,
screwed, baby.
I don't get why people don't see that, right? This is not even a right thing. Yeah. This is not a left thing. This is just straight up objective, right? If you know anything about the Constitution, anything about history, if you can censor the most powerful man, then that tells you something, right? And then everybody else is just a flick on the wrist, right? Just a switch, you're here, you gone. But I want to say it's ridiculous because my guy Chicano for Trump, y'all know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Chicano. Yeah, go ahead, talk about what happened with him.
Yeah, so FBI actually came to his house and raided. I don't want to say raided, but they confiscated all of his equipment that he used to record events that went down on January 5th.
I saw he posted
the Capitol.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't storm the Capitol, he wasn't inside. They still took all his stuff, all his video footage, everything he used to make a living, and they charged him with a crime. So this is not just simple, I'm a Trump supporter or I'm a conservative, I'm a patriot, whatever. They're really coming after us, using, to me, this is like modern day Jim Crow. I know we talk about, Candace Owens talked about in her book Blackout, right? Yep. What it looked like, the mental plantation, everything else. Modern day Jim Crow is exactly what they're doing now. Jim Crow, remember what it's used for. Those laws were used to enforce there was like a political strong arm. It wasn't really about you black and everything. It's more about, they knew that black people were going to vote for Republicans. So they used measures and means to prevent that from happening. Yeah. Now they're doing the same thing against us. Democrats, once again, at the helm, using anything they can, especially law enforcement, as a strong arm to prevent us from freely expressing what, we believe as, political ideologies or our pride in who we want to support,
So I think you're saying that if you're a patriot, you're the new black.
I heard someone saying, I heard someone
How about that? How about that?
The Patriots are new black.
Yeah,
Patriots. I'm gonna tweet that. I'm gonna tweet that today and put it out there.
That's real. That's real.
Hey, you gotta give me credit though. You gotta give me like Kick is the one that said he pointed that out.
Patriotism is the new
Patriotism is the new black. Perfect. So with Chicano, I met him first at DC with you. We were talking and Hulk and all that. We were there. We were talking to him. I met him for the first time and he seems like such a genuine cool person. Like he has such all he cares about is his country. That's all he cares about.
Right.
And for the most part, you said like he got banned on all platforms. He had platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. He covered the events. Once when it got down on January 20th, oddly enough, the events were on the 6th, but then they raided him on the 20th.
Mm-hmm. And he was there as a reporter. He was not inciting anyone.
So during inauguration, when everything went down, they raided him. And now that he's letting everybody know what happened to him, last time I checked, they took his PayPal. He's trying to make donations, and they took his PayPal.
They demonetized it.
Here we go.
And I asked him, I said, did you change your phone? He's like, yeah, I changed my phone. I'm like, before or after? Before. I said, how do they know your PayPal if you have a different IP address?
Wow.
Nah, bro. I work for military intelligence.
Oh, okay.
It's possible, right? It's definitely possible.
Ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe. If they want to, ain't nobody safe.
Yeah,
we got to thank
Big Brother is watching. I just saw this meme the other day, and instead of Big Brother is watching, since they took out all the pronouns now, they said your older non-binary sibling is watching.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. No, we're definitely in the Twilight Zone.
Your older non-binary cisgender sibling
Biden
is watching.
Biden is the president.
Biden is watching. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Biden is the president. We are living in Twilight Zone, ladies and gentlemen, before we all We're screwed.
But can we impeach Biden already? Can we impeach this man already?
There's already moves for impeaching him already day one.
He already has impeachable offenses. His quid pro quo on camera.
He literally has like an open warrant almost from Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly.
You are a target of interest.
You are wanted. You are a wanted man.
And
he's running. Come on.
Yeah, but also we know that, like, if you think about it from a position of morality, then yes, sure, he did the quid pro quo. And if we're going to impeach Donald Trump for that, logically, there has to be continuity without hypocrisy, and we would impeach Joe Biden. But the difference is they had the votes to do it. I don't know who this Republican, I know who it is, but I'm saying I don't know what they're thinking. Marching in on day one as a freshman congressman saying, we're going to impeach you. That is dead on arrival. Yeah. And even from a practical perspective, makes me think that you waste time for political theater. And there's enough political theater amongst Democrats. You don't need to be doing as Republicans. So I actually kind of lost respect for the person that did that because I think any amount of time that you are wasting is going, you are literally just, it's like handing ammunition to your enemy. Like, sure, now why don't you just show how stupid this is? Why don't you just say how frivolous this is?
Well, whether it goes anywhere or not, I think it has a lot of weight in the actual articles of impeachment being presented because it's letting the world know that here we have somebody, Marjorie Greene is her name, actually brave enough to stand up and brave enough to present these articles of impeachment because a lot of people have no idea that Jim Crow Joe is on camera for quid pro quo. And in layman's terms, quid pro quo is abuse of power for people who don't know. So when he was vice president, he used his power and abused it by having the president of Ukraine fired the private investigator investigating his son into the Burisma. A lot of people don't even know those details because they're not reporting on it.
Yeah, but they're not going to. It's just like they don't know the details of the Hunter Biden laptop.
But they can look at the details of the articles of impeachment and say, this is what Joe Biden this is what Joe Biden should be impeached for. Whether it goes anywhere or not, it's letting the people know.
Nobody reads the articles of impeachment. They wait for the media to tell them what to think, and the media controls the narrative right now.
No, I was actually talking about that.
It's like a double-edged sword.
I was talking about that with my friend the other day. I was writing, and I was just like, you know what? The media is so powerful.
Really?
And they're like, yeah, I know. And I'm like,
Zuckerberg is the most powerful man in the world.
Well, exactly. I meant that in general. I meant in general. And I'm just sitting there, and they're like, yeah, we know that. And I'm like, no. Think about the twilight zone we live in.
Literally.
Joe Biden is in office. No one knows about the ballots being dumped in at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, even though Trump showed it. I mean, at this point, it's like, I'm looking and I'm just like, I didn't think they had this much power, like 1984 power.
Welcome.
Well, they have the power to make everything BLM did justified.
Yes,
literally.
And the one event we did at Capitol, the worst event in America.
9/11.
What?
9/11.
Topher, actually, you just reminded me of why Kamala Harris should be impeached, right? Because they're trying to impeach the president.
Lucas is on a roll.
Everybody's going down. I want everybody impeached.
Literally. That's the roll, baby.
Let the witch hunt begin.
All you.
Let the witch hunt begin.
I'm putting cases on all you Trump supporters.
Because they're trying to impeach President Trump again, right? Over some nonsense for literally inciting violence and riots for the sham insurrection, when literally Kamala Harris incited violence and riots with the BLM and Antifa and Biden supporters all summer long.
They're not going to stop.
And saying they're not going to stop. You shouldn't stop. And then she got a monetary fund and bonded them out of jail so they can continue to terrorize domestic. So they can continue to terrorize local business owners
and bail them out
bail them out.
Hey, Topher. Hey, you're going to be mad at me, but my ex actually shared those phone numbers. I banged on her so hard. I said, don't be sharing those phone numbers.
Which phone numbers?
The phone numbers to get people out of jail.
Oh, yeah.
She did the local area, the L.A., the Orange County. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, the people need to know. I was like, nah.
No, they don't need to know.
Get that off.
No.
It's the rules for thee, but not for me. When the left does it, it's okay. They've been doing it all year long. They've been rioting. They've been looting. They've been burning up shops. BLM has been burning up black-owned businesses, looting black-owned businesses, tearing down Biden supporters. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. That's giving a free pass. Go on, do what you do. As a matter of fact, we're going to bail you out
so you can continue.
So you can continue doing so. You know what I'm saying? But let someone let us go into the Capitol building. Let us go into the Capitol building. We are insurrectionists. We are terrorists.
Domestic terrorists.
We are domestic terrorists. Exactly.
And I hate how a lot of people on the right started yelling at everybody and stuff like that. And it was just one big cluster. oh, it's you, blame you. I'm just like, oh my God. And it's because of the media.
It is because
it was just because of the media.
I mean, look at what the media was calling us. They were calling us insurrectionists. That means we
domestic
terrorists.
And then now, like I said, that's why I'm trying to wrap this around.
By definition, the media is acting like domestic terrorists.
Thank
They're
you.
the enemy combatant number one right now.
Thank you.
Come on.
So Topher, with all that being said, and then the attacks on us, just in general, just people that are patriotic, and then the John Brennan thing. What do you think about the future for our country and moving forward? Obviously, with a Biden administration.
A Pelosi administration.
I like to say it's gonna be tumultuous times, man. It's gonna be very trying. You know, as the world get darker, the people of light shine brighter. So
let's go.
This is just a time for us to step up, man. You know, if we're called to be somewhere, if we're called to do something, this is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to take full control. You know, send me, I go, right? That's what we need. We need those people right now. We don't need anybody, you know, just kind of, you know, lukewarm, you know, you know, we've seen that even within the Republican Party. That's why so many people are trying to create a Patriot Party, because we've seen people lukewarm because they're getting checks, to be real, from corporations and things like that. They have some vested interests, but it's time out for all of that, right? It's almost like we're to a point where I don't even recognize America anymore. You know, so I do not recognize America. I remember growing up, signing the Pledge of Allegiance. It never was considered like forced patriotism. Like you just deciding this is my country. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. I remember, you know, just doing all kinds of things that today, if you do it, people getting flagged for the American flag, being, you know, racist and everything else. Everything's, you know, twisted every which way. Whether it's gender, everything just flipped. And if we don't stand up right now, right, I'm telling people right now in 2021,
preach.
If we do not make a stand and start taking back the culture, which the culture leads everything. So laws actually follow the culture.
Politics is
That's why a lot of stuff end up being legal or illegal based on the culture. So if we see where the culture is at, only imagine what laws are going to be pushed behind that. So we don't want to see those laws come into place. We need to get busy influencing the culture. And I don't mean just sitting on social media doing your own thing. I mean actually getting out there and influencing the culture. I'm going to try to be more active. I've already made the pledge within Mississippi myself personally. Let's go. And a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, I want to go to the big rallies. Like, let's go to DC. No, I mean, you got people in your state, in local community that you need to be rallying behind. There's a George Floyd next door, but no one cares because he was not the one on national TV, right? So I see this all the time, and I want to encourage conservatives across the board, patriots, whatever, start locally. Build that place first. Because in the military, there's a chain of command, and I feel like we're at war, and we've already ended. Some people say there's going to be a war. Man, we're already at war. If you think we're not at war yet, you're already behind. But there's a chain of command, and what we did, we jumped it, right? We didn't even look at local levels, we didn't look at state level, we went straight to national level and rallied and said, hey, this is our concern.
Same thing, bro.
We should have been on their necks on the local level, then on their necks at a state level. So by the time we got to the national level, it wouldn't just been us up there by ourselves. It would have been so many other people, so many other representatives and everybody, because we've made our concerns known at the low level first. We just got to start at the local community.
You know what? That's great, because I said the same exact thing that I've been saying this, is that I feel like we're at war, and during a physical war, they draft. Well, I'm not saying we're in a physical war, we're in a mental war. And at this point, we need to draft people to run for local office. I keep saying that if every person in this movement in the local areas, in every single area, literally ran for office, and we got Cali, like this Cali right here, like we just start running. Like you out there in Mississippi, boom, done. Like people out in New York, or because I know New York is on fire too. When New York is feeling the same thing us Cali people were feeling. We got like some type of connection or something. You know what I mean? Because we're like we're sitting here in blue states, and we're just like, you know, we feel for one another. And you know, it's time. I truly believe that this is a time that we have to mentally draft ourselves. And if every person in this movement literally started running for local office, we could take back states, we could take back culture, like you said. And like you said, it's getting hard. We're trying to see who's like, you know, tiptoeing with the checks. Well, I say it too. There's a difference between a sunshine patriot and then a winter soldier.
Let's go.
And we got to figure out what that is. Who's the winter soldiers in this?
That's a good point. And to add on to that, I just want to say, everybody, like they said, it starts local. Go out to the to your local rallies, go out to the assemblies, go out and find out what the legislation is being passed and ask yourself, really, at the town hall meetings, what matters to you and your family? What is your ideology? Because if fashion and all the things that the left talks about doesn't matter to you, if identity politics doesn't matter to you, don't get sucked into it. Yeah. Think about what matters to you and go and fight for it.
And I'm just going to wrap this. I'm going to try to wrap this up a little bit to say, you know what? Our country's going to suffer for this.
Yeah.
But Biden, we on you for the next 4 years.
Oh,
you
yeah.
you ain't
black. We on you.
Oh, you just opened up a can of worms.
Who's going to last 4 years, though? That's the question. Watch. In 6 months, they're going to be having people calling Madam Harris president. Come on. We know that.
All right. So before we go, Topher, where can people find you, my man? How can they find you?
Yeah, guys, y'all can find me at Topher Town Music. That's TOPHERTOWNMUSIC on any platform, or you can visit my website, tophertown.com. Don't forget, we have the #1 and #2 hip-hop song on iTunes, and we have the #3 overall song on iTunes charts. We still killing the billboards, knocking out Taylor Swift and all these crazy artists out here, man. But, it's been fun, fellas, man. It's good to come in here and speak. Hopefully next time I come, I have some awards. I have my billboard plaque on the wall, so you'll want to
let's get it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move over some of those sweaters.
I'm just gonna keep it 100, right? I'm gonna keep it 100. Thank you for coming on the show, and guess what? You ain't black.
You ain't black.
And you ain't black.